If you're interested in gold and silver, that's what we're going to talk about right now with my next guest, Jeff Clark. He is a precious metals analyst at goldsilver.com and no stranger to our program. Jeff, welcome back.
It's great to be back with you, Daniel, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. It's so much fun to get all this this baby love here in Vancouver. I know you're going to be doing a lot of talks here, and your talk is a little bit different, right?
It is, yes.
And you're looking at the size of the gold market, which, as we know, compared to other markets, is quite small.
It is. It's not just the gold market, but it's also the silver market. But the gold market is so small that Warren Buffett could take less than 5% of his cash and buy every registered ounce of gold on the COMEX.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's just one company. It's a small portion of his cash.
Right.
And I'm not saying he's going to do that. Warren Buffett's not going to do that. But the point is, the market is so small that it won't take much money coming into it to impact the price in a big way, especially when silver and gold prices start moving.
Well, he's not a gold bull or bug, so I doubt he will do that. But okay, given that context, Jeff, why is that important for us to know and for investors to keep in mind when they're investing in gold?
Because the market's so small, it doesn't take much money to impact the price. It doesn't take much demand to drive the price higher. It doesn't take much demand to crimp supply. And that's a very real thing. We saw in 2009 what happened then. Prices went up, demand went up, premiums skyrocketed. And so the point is, if you believe we're going to have a silver and gold bull market, you want to make sure you're buying now before any of those kinds of things happen.
Well, is that what we were seeing when we saw the escalation of the US-Iran crisis? I mean, if you were tracking gold during those few hours, I mean, it went, it just shot up with the tensions. So is it that because the market's so thin?
I mean, let's face it, people buy gold and silver, and not just investors, but citizens, when they get scared, when there's fear, when there's uncertainty. Certainly anything geopolitical, anything as big as a war would just astronomically drive demand for those metals. And so that was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to a geopolitical concern. I don't own gold because there might be a geopolitical issue. I own it for other core reasons.
So you own physical gold,
yes.
And of course you love the mining stocks.
Yes, I do.
And the number one question here is, well, when are the mining stocks going to take off, Jeff?
Well, mining stocks provide leverage to gold and silver. That's why we love them so much, right? And that's a very clear indication. We've seen that many times throughout history. But it's very clear from history also that gold moves first and then the stocks. Silver moves after gold and the stocks move after silver does. So it's not uncommon to see a delayed reaction. We've seen this many times in history, especially in modern history, where the metals will move first and then the miners will follow. And the miners will catch up and pass gold and silver because of the kind of leverage that they offer.
You've also pointed out that every major gold stock bull market has ended in a parabolic rise. And we haven't seen that this time. So, is now a good time to be getting into the mining stocks?
We're just getting started. The bull market's just getting started. And the reason it's just getting started, it is going to go higher in my opinion, is because there are so many financial risks out there, all of which are elevated. We've seen a rise in negative rates and the Trump concerns with China, the trade wars and currency wars and that, and those drove prices higher. But we haven't had any issues with the dollar, with the bond market, the stock market, with the recession, there's so many risks out there to categorize that it's hard to keep track of all of them.
Can you give us some stocks you like right now? Any picks?
Oh, there's a lot of stocks I like, but I'm really attracted to the silver space right now because the silver equity market is so small that, believe it or not, Apple Computer, just with its cash, could buy the entire...
I love how you have these comparisons.
The entire primary silver market, the equities, not their cash, but their market cap. They could buy every share with 11% of their cash. That's an incredibly tiny market it's not going to take much money coming into this sector to just
and there's so
literally
much interest in the silver. You know, I see it when we put out the silver content compared to the gold content, that the interest is just sky high right now. So in the silver space, can you give us some names of?
Well, my first pick is First Majestic Silver because they've demonstrated they have a lot of leverage to the silver price. They've clearly demonstrated this. They rise anywhere from 5 to 10 times more than the silver price throughout the past 12 years. This is a clear pick. I like the pre-producers also because they get re-rated when they go into production. So my top pick there is Silvercrest Metals. And the other thing is there's just not very many of these things, but I like buying a small basket of them, and you don't need to spend a lot of money to get big exposure.
So you like it even though the gold-silver ratio is still in the high 80s here?
Oh, that just signals that it's a buy. The gold-silver ratio has been to 100, it's been to 90 in the current market. It's at what, 85 or 7?
I think,
yeah,
today,
so
yeah.
somewhere, but the point is it's never remained elevated. It's always fallen. I believe, and I said this in my presentation, the gold-silver ratio is probably going to fall to 20, maybe even below that in the next bull run because there's going to be such a shock that people are rushing into silver and the
But
stocks.
speaking about the bull run, we've started it?
I think we've probably started it, yeah. And there could be one more sell-off depending on what type of financial crisis we get. If it's a circa 2008, there could be a liquidity issue. They could sell off one more time. I think it's important to have some cash handy, but I think the bull market is gelling, it's starting, and there's only so much more time you have to buy before this thing really takes off. You don't want to be buying when prices and premiums are shooting through the roof.
Jeff Clark, I appreciate your insights. I know you have a lot of people to speak with, so I appreciate you coming and taking the time to join us today.
It's great to be here. So buy those two twins, some silver and gold, but the one that gets silver will probably make more money.
Right, I was thinking about that, or I was thinking maybe I'll name one Argenta and one Oro.
I love it.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll have much more for you, Kitco.com.